see herds of the bison. And then on the far right, behind the guys on the girders, you see a futuristic modern city for later times. But you see the biggest and the brightest and therefore the most important things up there are the people. So we start with the Native Americans on the left, American Indians, if you will, and then early founded. The city of Cincinnati was founded in December of 1788. And a year later, they built Fort Washington to help protect the settlers, etc. And moving on, you see early and then later forms of river transportation. So the South mural is pretty much about the country as a whole, and this North mural is pretty much about the Ohio River Valley.
Yeah.
So various types of riverbeds. And behind the figures on the right, older times are represented by the rural area, and the later times are represented by the Cincinnati skyline behind the figures on the left.
Very good.
And I want you to notice what I consider the loving care with which the artist portrayed these people. They aren't fancified at all. They aren't guys in suits and ties, usually, so he's not an elitist. These are people like you and me, the next door neighbors that are working for him. With the exception of the riverboat captain up there at the top. And you see the big buildings between the two guys on the left. You see the white building with the pyramidal top. As you walk out the front door and move off to the right a little bit, you'll see that. That's a PNC Bank building. It was built in 1913. At that time, it was Cincinnati's tallest structure. And it was the Union Central Trust Building and the Union Central Building. They always change the names of these buildings. And then to the right of that, the Buff Brick Building is Brew Tower, which was built at the same time as this building was. And it took 10 months to build that 48-story tower. Pretty neat, 10 months. And you'll see that out there as you leave. Okay, so now you can look below those windows and see the shelves at knee level that I was telling you about the other night.
Shelves at knee level. I don't see any shelves at knee level.
It's like a bench.
Where? Oh, a little.
Larry was lovely.
Yeah, we'll find out when this is. I could do it again. You know? Go on in there, Mom.
I've been in there already.
Ice cream. And this room served as a USO during World War II. There's even a picture in there of those days.
Ah.
I want to point that out. It's a great place and very interesting. And that's where you would put your luggage and check your luggage for your train trip. And over on this side was a parcel checking area. Cincinnati was a regional distribution center for parcel posts or parcel posts. Now you notice when we were up in the balcony, I was talking about the absence of guys with suits and ties. Well, here they are. So on the left we have, there were four gentlemen that were prominent at the beginning of the project, terminal project here, or elsewhere. I'll describe them. The guy on the left is Murray Seasongood. He was Cincinnati's first reformed mayor, city manager, former governor. He was elected in 1925. And the guy next to him was our H.O. Sherrill. He was our first city manager. Remember, in those days and thereafter, Cincinnati was considered to be the best governed city in the USA. That was then, and this is now. The guy with the plan is Colonel Waite. He was the chief engineer. And the guy with his hands behind his back is George Dent Krabs, the public-minded citizen. He was the president of the Philip Perry Company and a director of the Fourth National Bank downtown. A very public-minded citizen. He spent 4 years of his life talking to those 7 railroads, getting them to forego their parochial interests and combine to form the Cincinnati Union Terminal Company and build this whole project. I don't know if I mentioned details of it. This whole terminal project that covers some 250 acres. They laid 94 miles of track, 22 buildings, including this one, and the Western Hills Viaduct was part of this program. It was private money. With the exception of the Western Hills Viaduct, part of that was city money. But it cost $41 million in those days. And interesting, in 1986, when we had the bond levy to restore the building and create the museum center that we have nowadays, the bond levy in Hamilton County was for $33 million, and they got $8 million from the state, and so it's about $41 million to restore the place. That's pretty much what it was. So on this side, we have 3 gentlemen that were prominent at the completion of the program. project in 1933. So we had a new mayor on the left and a new city manager on the right. And in the center, we had Mr. Wooster, and he was the first president of the Cincinnati Union Terminal Company. And in a minute or two, we're going to go into his office space.
Wow. Well, they restored the paint.
Those should be like it should be.
Yeah.
Semicircular. Here and built-in sofa
Original
with
desk.
pictures and depict what the place looked like in 1933 when it opened.
Look at this desk.
The wall hardware, door hardware here is unique. This is a highly polished nickel silver alloy that looks just like the facade of the building, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Pierre Bourdelle, the Frenchman, did this hand cut out wood veneer mosaic depiction of the front of the building. And these are the entrances to this curved arcade they talked about, and the exits over here. That clock is in the same relative position as the 16-foot diameter clock outside. Usually it works, but it's not going today. I don't know why. Now you notice in the picture on the right here, underneath this cabinet right here, this light, was this map table. I didn't know where that went. I guess the guys weren't able to save that. And the little doors over there, one goes to a small restroom for the president, the other one's a cloakroom. All the seating, I think almost all the seating in this whole building in the old days was leather covered. You know that Cincinnati had the nickname Porkopolis because the meatpacking industry was so large here, and so there was a lot of leather made from, because we use everything from the animals. That's how Procter & Gamble got started. Because across the street, I'll show you later, there's a building that housed the American Oak Leather Company. And so that leather covered a lot of stuff in here, this and that. I'm not sure if these have been recovered or not. They might. I know the chairs in here have been recovered.
So this is the president's desk?
That we got a curved bookcase there. Look at the andirons down here. It's very,
Oh, yeah.
very, very much Art Deco. I mean, you can look at that and say, I can't define Art Deco, but
Yeah.
you look at those and say, that's got to be Art Deco.
Yeah.
It looks very much like the skyscrapers. And above the fireplace, which was a wood-burning working fireplace, is the wood veneer mosaic map of the U.S. 48 states. This is before we had Hawaii and Alaska, but we did have Cuba over here, right?
Mexico, too.
Okay, now the last person over there, turn out the lights. Oh, I should point out the indirect lighting in here. See?
Yeah.
So the last person, we'll turn out the lights and then close this door here, please.
Was this the president's office, he said? Look at the desk. It's a round desk. Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
It's beautiful. Everything is so much more.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Really, it's a round office.
That's right. It's round office.
For the board of directors, they had niches in here where they could put their papers.
Oh, the board of directors?
They were, and still are all leather.
What do you say?
Notice along the
Yeah.
wall, on the walls, it's aluminum strips. And you notice in here, because we're closer to the trains, even the walls are cork for sound venting purposes, right? You'll notice the built-in ashtrays here.
Yeah.
From the size of, you can tell that they're for cigars and not cigarettes.
Ah.
They even had built-in cigar humidors in each of these
Yeah.
sofas. Now these drawings on the wall are depicting the various stages of the construction of this terminal project. Notice even here that the andirons are similar to the other ones, but different. You know, and it's interesting. Let me move a little bit. This depicts how they got the 5.5 million cubic yards of earth from Bald Knob, which is right across the way over there. They built the helical train tracks here, and with it, they fill the gondolas full of the earth. Then they come down around. There already were train tracks between Bald Knob and the hill to the north of it. And then you come over here into this hollow, and then dump it over on the side and go back and pick up some more. And they got I think about 80% of that 4 million cubic yards of earth from the top of Bald Knob. That's why it's shorter than the other hills now. And another site, they got about 1 million cubic yards of earth from to the west somewhere.
Ah, this is corked room. Corked room. Corked wallpaper. Wow. Huh. Holy cow. Waiting for us to clear out of here. Oh man, this is really interesting. Sweet Pea, look at Uncle Don. Look at Sweet Peas.
Daddy's gonna go out with you. Look at Daddy.
Where's your boots?
Where are your boots, Sophie? I think that's her bag behind you, Daddy.
Those are Emma's boots.
Here it is. No, oh, those are yours. Those are Sophie's.
Come on, Sweet Pea.
I got one.
That's Emma's baby.
These are yours, baby.
Hey, here's you.
That's World War III right there.
Footsie. Emma,
Hey, let's get your Jeep out too.
footsie, footsie. Footsie, baby.
Where's the windbag?
I'm gonna get my boots on. I don't know what's telling you.
You gotta run the video camera.
Tom looks like he's going skiing.
Remember you got me these bibs?
No,
1986. You got me these bibs.
I do.
Remember that?
No.
And remember, you don't remember that you got them at that place right there by Trios, and you got a size larger, and we took them back and got this size. Remember that over Christmas? You got these for Christmas. Yes, you and Larry got these for me. Christmas 1986.
Look at the butt.
Yeah. Let's go, girls.
Come on, put your hat on. Look at her.
Come on, Sweet Pea.
Emma, come here. We're gonna put your hat on and
She
your
does
coat.
look fat and fatter than normal. You know?
Come here, Emma. Put your hat on. See, she's
Yeah,
wearing a
thank
hat. Daddy's gonna wear a hat.
Are you gonna have a sleep off?
No, I'll go out with him. He's sleeping.
Fix your hair, so it's not on your way.
I think you're gonna have to No, I'm not going.
I'll go out with the boys.
I'm not going out there today.
You're wearing the video camera, Women Jean.
I'll do it. Oh, Lily, Nana hasn't seen you before she knows.
She asleep?
She's awake. She's
I got
in
your
your club.
glovies. I got your glovies.
I love you, Lily.
And Coco.
Come on, Sweet Pea.
Coco.
Who wants to go sledding? Who wants to go sledding? Who wants to go sledding?
I'm first on one of the sleds.
I am.
I'm going on first on the big one with big
I am.
hard plastic.
I am.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Sledding.